So hello and welcome to our 2025 astrological and tarot reading. Obviously we're going to do our January energy as well, but I want to go in and just do a quick overview for the whole year looking ahead. Does look like a really different energy to 2024, which I'm sure a lot of you will be pleased to hear, having heard about the years you've had. Last year was actually the year of the dragon, so it did feel for a lot of people like a bit of a battle, I think. And this year we're heading into the year of the snake. So real transformative energy, shifting, changing, growing. It is a definite cleansing year. So letting go of the things we've already fought for last year, where we've sort of got rid of the things we didn't need, or we've at least identified the things we want to let go of. And this year is just that gentle moving forward onto the next chapter. Also looking like a year for general awakening of people around you. So they might just take that first step on their spiritual journey or an awakening to the world around them. So expecting a lot of people who are very, very new to spiritualism, very new to introspection. So that can be quite challenging when people are first stepping into that arena. And they're looking for answers and looking for support. So just be aware that there might be people around you who haven't necessarily opened that door before, who are now stepping into that world of spirit. So this year is 2025. So I can't say the word. In numeracy, it's a 9. Okay, the numbers combine to make a 9, which is a year of completion. Our next year, 2026, when those numbers come together and combine, they make a 1. So it's a new beginning. So this is our transformative year. It's the final chapter of getting things in order and tying up those loose ends. Okay, so this year is all about compassion, release, and a real humanitarian love, a coming together of community. As I say, these people awakening, and they're going to be turning to people who are awake for support and for help in their journey. So that could be that can be quite tiring sometimes when people are constantly coming to you for advice or just wanting to express these new emotions, these new feelings. And you know, we all say, don't we, oh, I must be going crazy. So lots of that happening at the beginning of this year particularly. Colours for this year are pink, yellow and grey. So our pink is a colour of love, compassion, yellow a colour of friendship and connection, and then our grey is shadow work, but we're not in darkness, it's not black. So we're coming out of this period of inner work and that, you know, that looking within. We're coming out of that period of introspection and then starting to apply it to our everyday lives. So it's a real cosmic cleanse, as I said, this year. Definitely a time of transforming, slowing everything down. Last year was a real roller coaster. If you imagine the energy of dragons, quite fiery, quite fierce, letting go of things, feeling things pulled away, a definite up and down. This year's much, much slower. Much more time to think before we act, and time to allow our growth, taking that period of rest and calm and growth. So this year there are a lot of planets in retrograde, but it is a lot calmer than the previous year, as we've said. There's also several eclipses taking place. So again, it's this time of wisdom and ascension, lots of shifting, lots of changes. Our eclipse season bringing in similar energy to our new moons, but it's much more concentrated in a shorter period of time of these sort of new beginnings, this potential to manifest in a very short period. So the first few days of January are looking like they might be a bit overwhelming, might feel a bit drained, a bit stressed out. This is due to Mars still being in opposition with Pluto. Okay, so this energy can be quite tiring and we just feel a bit flat, but mainly it's like a drained, we feel tired and our energy is very low. So doing things just to try and boost our own energy, take that time for resting when we need to, just listening to our body. Our emotional responses as well might be much stronger. So love, hate, you know, the two extreme ends of the spectrum, fear and excitement, that it might be really heightened. We have Venus moving into Pisces and Mars is dipping into Cancer. So these two really emotional energies combining. So yeah, just try and balance that practical side and your spiritual side. Allow yourself time to rest, and don't be surprised if you feel that your responses are a bit more emotional than they would tend to be. It's just the energy drawing it from you. And then we have Jupiter squaring Saturn. So for the first few weeks, again, that's going to make us feel like we're running out of time a little bit. So it feels like there's an urgency, but don't allow yourself to be rushed into things. Again, think like the snake. Just take your time, use your wisdom, and pull back on those things that are making you feel rushed. Or if you feel like you're running out of time, I've got to get on, I've got to do, just be. Take that time for being. So we have a full moon in Cancer on the 13th. So really strengthening our empathetic abilities and tendencies. So as well as it being a time where you can be there for others, to help people, connecting in relationships, it really is a time just remembering to protect our energy and put up that shield when we need it, so that we're not absorbing all the energy around us. And if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed or a bit off colour or off key, then it is just remembering that this may not be your energy, maybe energy of those people around you that you're just absorbing and picking up on. But this full moon is actually going to bring a turning point and a breakthrough. So anything that you have been wanting to change, wanting to complete, endings, this is the moment. This will be the completion, the severing. It's a cutting off point. So good news definitely coming on its way. And if there's anything outstanding, it will be wrapped up. This is the tying the bow, you know, finishing touches coming there on that full moon. And then the sun enters Aquarius on the 19th. So it's time to contemplate alternative futures. So this can turn things on their head. So it's not going to stop you reaching your destination, but what it might do is take you on a detour, or it might be showing you alternative ways to do things. So time to be open-minded, allow yourself to go with the flow a bit, and start to think of different outcomes, different options, different perspectives on a subject. If there's something that you're heading towards or that's not coming to you and you're not sure how you can best get there, just look at it from a different angle, give yourself better perspective, take that step back and see it from a different option, or see what other options are available to you. This energy from the 19th, it's actually going to continue right through to the end of January. So this seeing things from a different angle, having to maybe adapt our plans, or find that if there is it feels like there's a hurdle to overcome, it's not a case of having to jump higher. It's a case of finding a different way round, a different route, find a different path. Now this is due to the tectonic shifts on the earth, and so that continues to the end of the month, 28th to the 30th. So that energy of shift and change and maybe sidestepping coming through there. So mid-January, things start to shift. We go from this lower energy at the beginning of the year, this tired, drained, maybe even a bit stressed, trying to think of manoeuvring around things, different ways of getting what we want. And then we step into this glorious, prosperous flow of energy. Joy, progress, harmony, it's all coming through calm and peaceful energies. Easy communication of emotions as well. We've got some trines with Mercury, so we're moving through Mercury, which is our communication. This becomes really simple, and I believe it's either linked with Cancer or Pisces, which is our emotions again. So our emotions and our speech and our communication is really clear, helping us have these beautiful, clear, peaceful connections and communications with people around us. On the 29th, we have our new moon in Aquarius. And this is a real time for planning and preparing for the future. So it really does allow you to weigh up your options, this new moon. So before you start to think about the things that we're bringing in, the things that we're manifesting for the coming month, for the coming few months, then really weigh up your options. What's the best option for you? So keep your mind open, but do that planning and prep stage. It's really key with Aquarius, you know, our balanced, if you think about the scales there, keeping everything in balance, weigh things up. What's my best option? And then manifesting that in the future. And then at the end of the month, we have the sun in trine with Jupiter. And again, this energy, this beautiful flowing energy heightens again. And we have good fortune, enthusiasm, luck, real harmony and exuberance of energy, loads of energy. So literally we start the month off in this lower, slightly overwhelmed period, and we end it on a massive high. So a real shift in energies through January. So expect it to feel at the start of the year, possibly you think, oh no, not more of the same from 2024. But there is this, from the middle of the month, this small shift, and then it literally is going to flow into this joy and harmony, excitement, happy, loving energy, clear communication coming through, strong connection, strong bonds, and a real inner wisdom and inner joy. And it's going to flow into February as well. Okay, lovelies. So that is our astrology for, I just gave you a really brief overview for 2025, just as a general, and then that January energy. So that sort of lifting from the bottom up to the top. So let's have a look now at our card reading and just see what other energies are coming through, anything specific, any messages, or whether it's just going to link us in to that energy that we've already seen coming through with our planetary alignments. Okay, so the first thing I want to just show you is the crystals I was drawn to, and this is pyrite, or fool's gold, you might know it better as. And as you may imagine, this is used for bringing in abundance, particularly wealth, but also health and happiness. It's a stone that is really linked to our solar plexus, so our self-confidence, self-worth, really does help bring in your personal power. So really drawn to this. If you imagine like a regal energy, you know, if you stand tall, confident in yourself, in your ability, in your decision making, then that would be the energies that come with pyrite. Now I find pyrite particularly potent as a crystal. When I hold it, I do get a very high vibration through my back and in my neck, actually, from holding it. It's very heavy crystal for the size of it, but very, very powerful. So very nice to have that for the beginning of the year, hopefully bringing in those energies for us through 2025. So the first thing I wanted to do actually was just literally pull a card from each of the decks here to have an overall 2025 energy, and then we will go through and do our specific reading for January. So I'm literally going to cut these cards which have been pre-shuffled. So our first card is the Offering. We have Imagine, 2 crescent moons there already, just lovely, love a synchronicity. The Foxglove for Confidence, really nice there, linking in with the crystals that we've chosen. Okay, we have the 4 of Pentacles there. And then finally, we have the Dragonfly for Emergence. Okay, so the first thing I'm picking up there is with the Dragonfly, this transformation that we spoke about, this snake energy, this changing, this growing into ourselves, into this much more calm energy, this more self-assured, self-confident, knowing our value. We're emerging up here, like the lotus flowers that we have at the bottom, emerging from the bottom of the lake. These flowers grow from the mud and the murk from underneath the water there, and they actually transform into these glorious flowers, having lived through the mud. So it's like going through the hardest times and transforming, this period of growth here. And we have the yellow flowers here, and we said the colours for this year coming were the yellows. It's that friendship, connection, really connecting to ourselves and other people around us. Now with the 4 of Pentacles, this energy can sometimes be that we're holding on too tightly to something, too tightly to expectation, or we're holding on to the outcome of something. Sometimes it can be holding on to our money too tightly, where we're fearful of allowing money to flow through us. And money, like all energy, needs to flow. If we try and hold on to it too tightly, we create a blockage. So it is allowing our wisdom and our intuition of when we need to do our saving and when we need to spend. So it's taking care of the finances. But also this card is about having security, about gain and conservation. So conserving what we have, not being too frivolous. But because this is a card, this is the 4, it's very stable. I always think of the 4 like a table, 4 legs. It's secure, it's stable, it's balanced. So this is this overall energy this year of much more stable, much more secure, allowing us that control, that stability. But just a reminder not to hold on things too tightly. This is definitely a period where we need to go with the flow. Like the snake, if you imagine the way its body moves, it's a beautiful, smooth motion. So yeah, traveling through this year with with flow. Don't try and fight against the tide. We have the Imagine card. So definitely a year of awakening, people beginning to see things that they possibly didn't see before, allowing their imagination to take hold, and this spiritual growth happening. Really is a period of time to reach out to spirit. Just imagine what it can be, and allow spirit to help you to make those achievements, to take those next steps forward, and expecting other people to suddenly start seeing that magic around you and possibly not knowing where to put it yet. You know, that it's held on a string still. They've not quite let it in yet, but it's there. It's just the beginning, just this fanciful imagination at the moment that is coming, but definitely an awakening. And a lot more clarity coming here. Look, the clouds clearing away and it's literally illuminating the path forward. I feel this energy here of this year, options are opening. We're having more opportunities come to us. We're having, we're able to look at different ways of doing things, which is going to open different doors to you. So you may find that some things are more closed off, but ultimately it's leading you to the right thing, the right path. And again, this period of transition with the crescent moon, we're not at a full moon or a new moon. This is in between. This is a transformative year. We are changing, we're making differences, and we're in a transition phase, but we're coming to the end of this cycle. Now, I do feel like there are going to be things this year that are being offered to you, and it is a real time of being open to those things, and using your intuition, your gut feeling, if those things are right for you. Learning to walk away from the things that if something's offered, it doesn't mean you have to accept it. If it's not right for you, feel free to walk away. There are going to be times where you say, that's not for me, and, you know, or just no thank you. But there are definitely offerings coming. Things are being gifted to you. And I feel a lot of that is very divine gifting coming through. And finally, definitely confidence. Be what you want to see. So it is really digging deep. Who is it that you want to present to the world? Which side of yourself? How do you feel most confident? When do you feel most confident? Doing what things, you know, bring that confidence out in you, that personal power, that personal growth. Okay, standing tall like the foxglove, really showing your beauty, show your unique gifts, and be the thing you want to see in the world. Because I think this is a period of people who are already awakened to this side of themselves will be showing the way for others. So show them the best version of you, become the best version of you, be confident, stand tall, stand proud. And just like the foxgloves bringing in the bees, they're a real pollinator, aren't they? This is our period of time to be pollinating others with ideas, allowing them to open their heart, their soul, and really start touching into that spiritual side, and them having confidence through you, seeing your confidence, seeing your truth, and allowing that to sort of be a safety net. It is there to give people confidence. It's a good foundation for people to take that first step, that first leap of faith. So really beautiful energy there coming through for the overall energies for 2025. So let's go over then and have a look at what we can expect for January. So we'll start with the wild unknown archetypes here. Okay. So we have the heart, we have the comic, and we have the poet. That's funny because when I was shuffling before to prepare the cards, that card came out twice. So it definitely wants to come out for January. So let's have a look at the wisdom of the oracle. We have the here and now. And our language of the flowers. We have the Stephanosis or Stephanotis. Sorry if I've said that wrong. They look like jasmine to me, little jasmine flowers. But and we have the anemone. Let's have a look at our tarot. So we have the King of Pentacles and we have our Knight of Cups. And then finally we have our Earth Magic cards. Lovely. So we have Ceremony, and we have New Moon Promise. Just pop that up there. Okay, let's go over then and have a look at those energies that are coming through for January. So let's have a look at that energy that's coming through then for January. So we have the Stephanotis. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It looks like jasmine to me. You usually get it in a hoop, don't you? Have you seen them? They grow round a hoop and you have them indoors. Anyway, this is for cooperation. Take the hand offered or ask. So here is a reminder really just to not be afraid to ask for help. We're not all good at that, are we? We're good at wanting to help others, being there for others, but we don't always ask for help when we need it. Also, a reminder of working with other people. Cooperation is key. Colleagues, family members, as I said, people awakening, they might be turning to you. If you're open about your views, they might want to come and talk to you about things. So yeah, just being there for others really. This plant is actually associated with material gain and good fortune. So again, it's sort of linking in with our pyrite crystal there. So it's money coming in, unexpected money and very good fortune. So it's lovely energy that's come through straight away. And remembering those beginning of the month there where the energy might be a bit more tricky, a bit more draining, that if you do need help, you know, speak up. Most of us are more than happy, aren't we, to offer a hand. We often, you know, don't like to ask. So you wait for somebody to say, oh, could you just help me out? So don't ever be afraid to ask. So next we have the anemone. And I've noticed both these are Greek names. The anemone actually is linked to Aphrodite, the goddess of love. And they are said to be the tears that she cried on the death of Adonis, the male aspect of love, and Aphrodite being like the Greek version of Venus. So this is also optimism here. So good news coming. Again, another message of good news coming, fortune, also protection, again linked with our pyrite there. So protecting our energies a little bit if we're feeling a bit low or other people around us are low. So get that optimism, try and stay in gratitude, looking to the future brightly, even on, you know, even on the challenging days or the days where we feel a bit drained, thinking, you know, that brighter days will come. So yeah, this is just really saying that that things are getting better. So that's the energy, isn't it? As I said, through January, that energy is improving all the time. Okay, the next card we had was the Heart card, and here it is, nestled in this gorgeous nest here. These two people on a boat with this gorgeous gem in our heart energy here. So this is all about expansion and connection, really. Traveling within our own heart, look inward. What do we need? Where are we? We've done a lot of work here already, and we're seeing that actually our heart, if we can fill it with nature and beauty, and return to that heart energy, that is what's going to give us that inner fulfillment, that inner worth and our power. It comes from the solar plexus and comes up into the heart energy. So really do journey within your heart, see what we need, what do we need to add, particularly on days where we're feeling a bit overwhelmed or a bit low. What is it we're lacking? What is it we need to fill that heart space with? So maybe thinking about doing some work on our heart chakra. It might just be wearing pink or green, or surrounding ourselves with crystals that are specifically used for heart energy. So rose quartz is a really good one for that. Specifically, you know, it's that pink energy, it's for healing of the heart. But tap into what feels right to you. Might just be a meditation where you envisage your heart full of light. It could be any colour that resonates with you, but pink and green, as I said, are most associated with the heart energy. We have an upper and lower heart chakra, so they're pink and green. So any of those energies, but anything that resonates with you, allow yourself in this heart area, this heart space, to feel open and filled with this colour. Even if you just lay for a few minutes and imagine yourself almost like filling up with that heart energy. Definitely giving yourself time and your self-love, really important. Self-love, I know we say it all the time, once you are prepared to love yourself and give yourself that time, that healing and that energy, everything else spills out from it. You know, it is the key to everything. So if you can start directing that love inwards, we often give it to everyone else, don't we? So travel inside your own heart, see that wonder in you, really feel it, really tap into it. Definitely lovely energy for January, with all those beautiful connections, this joyous feeling coming in, these energies of harmony and calm and peace. Our next card was the comic. So our comic here, our cat. So definitely an energy maybe of using humour to overcome challenges. So sometimes it's best to laugh things off, isn't it? Pick your battles, choose the moment if you need to say something, and do you need to say it, or can we make light of it? But also a reminder not to wear the mask. Don't use a smile to hide behind if you really are struggling, if it's difficult. Comes back to that cooperation card, asking for help. Often you find that the happiest, smiliest person in the room is the person going through the most challenges, and they're really struggling, but they, you know, they put on a happy face to it. You know, we're always told, aren't we, put on a happy face and we'll all be all right. But sometimes that energy is very difficult and we're finding it really challenging. So speak up, speak out if it's hard. Another reminder to me with all the colours, to bring that vitality in. Bring colour into your home, wear colour, have colourful crystals, colourful paintings, drawings, whatever it means to you. But bringing in physical colour will actually help to bring in vitality to your auric field, into your energy field around you. So yeah, don't always be the rock. If you don't feel like it, if you can't do it, use that communication. We've got very good open communication, flowing communication for January. So speak up, speak out if you're struggling. Okay, then the next card we have is the Poet. Beautiful Poet card here. Now the Poet is the person who sees all the beauty in the darkness, and they're really able to express it in a way that people understand. So they can almost put into words the indescribable. So when we try and explain love or happiness and joy, it's very difficult to put that into words, but people who are the poets are really good at expressing that. So good, again, another card about good expression this month, good communication. It is also associated with great emotional depth, the Poet card, and so take care of your energies. As we said, if you're an empath this month, there's going to be short periods of time where you will be picking up on everybody's energy and able to express your energy really beautifully and tapping into it, but that can sometimes be really draining. So just be careful of any energy vampires around you, people who will feed off of your energy. And if you're a very open person, if you have got a very open heart, people may start pulling on that. Not always consciously, that's, you know, it's not always a thought process, but they inadvertently draw people's energy in to top themselves up. So yeah, don't despair, and just notice if energy around you is draining. If you're around people and when you leave you think, God, I'm really tired, they're inadvertently sort of, you're leaking it out and they're happily accepting it. So just be really aware this month of that shifting in energy. If you feel yourself really picking up on energy around you, just that reminder, protect yourself. Just protect yourself from others. And it may be, again, that other people are awakening to this sort of beauty, this poetic beauty, this otherworldly energies. So they're all awakening, and with it, it can be quite disruptive energy. It's like stirring up the dust, murking up the water, muddying the view. So that can be quite draining. So just protecting our energy. And it's only a very short period of time this month, but just being aware of it. Okay, the next card we have was the Here and Now card. So a reminder always to be present, this card. Don't linger too much in the past. It's good to learn from past experiences, but don't stay there too long. Don't live in it. Don't linger in it. Because we're here right now. The only thing we have that's certain is this moment right now. So we can't literally live second by second, but we can think about our, you know, what's right outside our front door right now. How's life now? Not too far in the future. Again, it's good to plan, isn't it? And have an idea of the future, but don't dream too long before we put things into action. So being here and now, being present, see that doors are opening for you now. It's not a case that doors opened once in the past and they're closed, or doors might open in the future. Don't miss the new opportunities now. Don't forget to see them because you're too busy dwelling behind or looking ahead. So see the doors opening for you. Change is happening right now. You are literally sitting on top of this new birth, rebirth, okay? And the doors are opening. Can't quite see through yet, can't see the way just yet, but the new horizon is there. So just keep your eyes open. It's literally right now. It's coming this month. And so it is a time of that transformation, that change, things coming into you. And it is a time for celebrating. She's got her flag here and all the hearts. So being in that open heart space, seeing opportunities as they come. And again, using your intuition. Is this the right door that's opening for me or not? Just tap into it, just trust it. And if it feels right, then, you know, go for it. Trust your instincts. And again, if it's not, leave that door closed, leave that one behind. Not everything's black and white. I'm being told with the two colours here. So it may not always be a case that it's a yes or a no, but it will just be trusting your gut. And you might have to delve around in that opportunity a little bit before you make your choice. But slow it down. Don't feel rushed. That was the energy we were told in our astrology. If an opportunity is coming your way and you feel rushed into a decision, but it's not quite clear yet because this door's open, but we can't see through it. If it's not quite clear, don't feel rushed. Don't feel panicked. Sit on it. Just give yourself a bit of time. But don't think, oh, but that happened in the past and that might happen in the future. Just, where am I now? How does it feel? What doors are opening up to me? Okay, then we come on to our ceremony card. Now, we actually have a snake in this card, which is really lovely to have because we're coming into the year of the snake here. And our lovely lady she has crystals, she's doing scrying here with the crystal ball, and she has dream catchers. There's all sorts of things in this picture here that she is doing. She's celebrating spirit, really. And it really is that time for January. This is our first new month coming into the new year. It really is a time to tap in to spirit and ourself. So whatever resonates with you, whether it's crystals, whether it's scrying, tap into our soul energy, our inner energy here. Keep a constant communication with ourselves. Keep that network open, allowing spirit to come in. I think there's going to be a lot of signs and synchronicities through the year, but particularly in January, things that are going to be giving you signs for the path ahead. I keep seeing behind me the path here leading on the way home. So I feel like there are things being shown. There's going to be things being shown constantly through this, through January particularly. But here we've got drumming. She has pipes. Definitely nutrition here with the food around her. And lots of crystals. We've got the green man in the background. Pendulums. So whatever it is that resonates with you to connect yourself to spirit, might just be asking your pendulum questions when you're not sure, or reading cards, scrying, whatever works for you. Might be reading tea leaves. It might literally be just to sit and journal and allow that flow, that almost channeled writing, where we get into a flow of writing. Whatever works for you, really, really tap into it through January. I feel like that is going to be the key for this year, because this mass awakening is coming. This is the age of Aquarius, as the song says. So yeah, really tap into that energy. There's a lot of solar plexus energy here, and she's doing a lot of healing with her hands. So it may be that you are a healer, you may have healing energy. Direct that to yourself as well as others this month, particularly at the beginning where we've got that lower vibration, picking ourselves up. And if you look, her solar plexus here is glowing. That inner light, that inner shining, that personal power, that self-confidence that we had with the pyrite. Really tap into that through January. Be in your energy, your power. Seems really important, doesn't it? Okay, we have the new moon promise. We did speak about the new moon on the 29th of this month. So we've got our new moon here. This is all to do with new projects, new relationships, might be restarting something that we postponed or something that was on hold. It's all coming. This new day is dawning. The new moon on the 29th, they're bringing this energy in. Also bringing together connections. So look at the connections we have, particularly existing love connections. The communication is going to be better. There's going to be a lot more harmony, a lot more joy, and a real want for adventure. I mean, when I had those two Greek names come through, I thought, is everyone booking a holiday to Greece? Or are you off to the tapas? One or the other. But yeah, this connection, this loving energy coming through with that new moon. So a time to take action on existing ideas. So existing ideas that you've already done the prep and the planning for, possibly, or things that have been on hold, and now is the time to take that leap of faith. This is the new moon to do it in January. And again, it's this transformation. I know it is the new moon, so you don't actually see a new moon, but they've shown a tiny crescent. So again, it's that period of shift, that transitioning between the full moon and the new moon. And so there's this period, isn't there, of change and shift. This new moon is bringing that in, but it's bringing it in a very enthusiastic, optimistic, with a real boost, a real kick up the bum energy coming through with this new moon in January. And then we move to our tarot here, which is the King of Pentacles first, which is a real reliable energy. So Pentacle energy is usually quite methodical. It's slow and steady wins the race, is what I always associate Pentacles with. So it is it's stable, it's secure. It's often ways of moving ahead with things, but in a very practical way, logical. We take action. We're not rushing. We're not doing that rushing. We're not going to be rushed. It's slow paced, we take our time, we plan, it's practical. Some people think it's very boring energy, but actually it's the sort of energy when you're going to start a new business, a new relationship, if you're moving house. We have to do each stage, don't we? If we miss a stage, then we have problems in the future. This is laying solid foundation. The foundations are laid. This is the king. You've sort of made it. So anything that you are stepping forward into for January, your foundations are secure. You're moving forward in a really logical, practical way. Action has been taken, and it will bring in the change. The change is coming. It's successful change. The card itself says continue to solve issues in a practical way, that logical, methodical way. Realistic, solid, good character, intelligent, steady, reliable, providing. This can be to do with material wealth, again, linking with our pyrite. So it's almost like this is a stable income. It's a regular thing. It's a drip feed. You know it's there. It's stable. It's regular, and you can rely upon it. So it can be a material gain. Can be an unexpected energy as well coming in, but it will come in, you won't expect it, and then it will seem quite practical, and you'll think, oh yeah, that actually makes sense, but you just didn't see it coming. It's linked with movement and change, because the kings are linked with the 5, which is all to do with change. And then finally we have the Knight of Cups, our emotions, the cups there. So it says express your creativity with compassion and emotion. And we've had a lot of compassion coming through, haven't we, in the reading and in the astrology. So this is a real romantic energy. It's idealistic, it's poetic. He's a knight, so he's not quite there, that, you know, he's on his way. It's a maturing energy. It's maturing into this energy. So we are stepping up into this romantic, gentle, it's very Cancerian energy. So we're stepping up into this sort of gentle, loving, this harmonious, this is that sort of humanitarian love we talked about in the astrology. It's love for all, love for community. It's a growth within community. Sometimes that energy isn't quite matured, as we said. So people awakening at the moment, they're being drawn to something, but they don't quite understand it necessarily. And so it's like a youthful energy. So there's enthusiasm and I want to learn, but they're not quite ready for what they're going to discover. So it's small steps. Again, it's going back to that methodical, logical, go back to the beginning and take your small steps, because these big strides could be overwhelming emotionally. Because this isn't necessarily a completely developed emotional maturity, because we are a knight here, we can sometimes be in our ego a little bit, and we're a bit idealistic, a bit fantasy. It's a dream rather than making it reality. So there can be that energy with this awakening, and people around you might be in that energy. We might be in that energy ourselves a little bit. The card itself says romantic, sensitive, graceful, poetic, vain, moody, idealistic. I mean, I don't get moody from it, if I'm honest, but possibly people might be just, again, it's that emotional immaturity. Opening to communication, massively key this month, as we said. Growth, groups and community. So that coming together of people, this emotional awakening, this spiritual enlightenment coming in. And it is, again, it's that emotion that can overwhelm us, can overtake us a little bit. And again, that comes in with our poet card of just, if we experience a little bit of an emotional outpouring, we might be ridiculously, hysterically happy about something, or we might be really, really low and emotional about things. It's that energy coming through again. It's literally pulling us to our either end of the spectrum. So just expecting through January that if you think, gosh, I wouldn't usually cry at something like that, or I wouldn't usually get angry at something like that, this is that energy that's pulling us into this heightened emotional energy. But also that awakening of people who aren't, they're literally like the Fool Tarot. It's their first step. And with young energy, sort of emerging energies, it's often over exuberant, isn't it? And you might head in the wrong direction a few times. You have to keep circling back on yourself. So just that energy around you might be a little bit frantic or a little bit overwhelming, but just staying calm, stay centered, grounded, take a deep breath. And know that this energy, again, these energies, these lower vibrational energies through January, by the middle of the month, by the sort of the 16th to 20th, we see a massive, massive shift in this heightening of joy and vitality and an uplifting. It's almost if we're a battery, that our batteries get recharged, and it's tapered off from December after the new year. Those first few days, the first maybe 7 to 14 days, are a bit low, a bit draining, a bit tired, and then we start going into this beautiful flowing energy and feeling a great connection, ability to open up, ability to speak without having to do the harsh truths that we did last year, just being able to be in our energy, in our flow, and allowing that beautiful harmony and joy to uplift us. Allow your aura, everything around you, just to be picked up. That's how you're going to feel by the end of the month. Okay, lovelies, beautiful energy for January. So I'm wishing you an amazing new year, however you celebrate, if you do celebrate. Enjoy January 2025. I think as an overall energy looks very, very interesting. A huge amount of shift and growth, personal growth, without having to do all of the letting go we did last year, all of the culling of old habits, old friendships, old connections. You know, that was really, really tough. But now that's let go, it's sort of lightened us. If you imagine the snake shedding its skin, it's like you've grown into the next chapter, and you are now new and shiny and new, and you're ready to take on the next part of this journey. And the next part of this journey, it does seem like there's going to be a great deal of new connections coming in, an awakening within ourselves of personal power. Solar plexus energy this year is huge. So this stepping into this, you know, regal energy, feel yourself, feel who you are, feel your confidence growing. You're going to step forward into you, into the true you this year. And it may be that you've spent the last few years becoming that. You might have felt this awakening in yourself, this change and shift. And now this transformation, you're stepping into the transformation. You have become you. It's, if you imagine the butterfly emerging from the chrysalis, that is happening in January. So yeah, the first few days are hard work as we peel away those layers to emerge, and then open your wings and soar through the rest of 2025.